Hilichurls before, and they're always the bad guys, but this is different. Uh-oh, this is right by the Wangshuin too! Oh, the guests are in great danger! Now that we've seen it, if we don't do anything about it, Paimon will feel really guilty. Let's go take... These super evil Hilichurls are more difficult to defeat than the usual kind too! Hey! Seems like people are gathering over there. Wonder what they're doing. Whoa! See that guy in the mask? He's scared off all the Hilichurls! Oh, you mean like Xiao? Now that you mention it, this guy's mask is kind of similar to the one that he wears. But the magic he was using seemed even more adepticey than Xiao's. Shall we go say hi? Hello, allow us to introduce ourselves. This is...
Please, if you're here to thank me, there's no need. Cleansing the world of evil is the duty of the Adepti. Think nothing of it. I certainly don't. Wait, who are you? One had assumed you were followers, but on closer inspection it seems that we have not met.
My name's Paimon, and this is my sidekick.
One sees. One too shall introduce oneself, for it is good manners to comply. The one before you is the Adeptus, Master of Stars. Though one is better known to one's followers as Star Snatcher. One descended from one's mountain abode to cleanse the world of evil, whereupon fate saw fit that our paths should cross. Now, tell me that which you wish for.
Our wishes? Paimon thought that the Adepti and Liyue were just really good in battle. You mean you can grant people's wishes too?
There are different levels of Adepti. Are not the stars loftier than the mountains, clouds, and moon? Yet, it is unbecoming of an Adepti to boast of one's powers. One would have you first speak to one's followers, and only then make your verdict.
Have you seen the Master of Stars in action? His power truly hails from the divine. I believe that now, there is finally some hope for my ailing father. Watching him use his magic is all the proof you need. That you're Adeptus, no doubt about it. Not long ago, I sought some medicine from him on behalf of my ailing father. The difference with Boo Boo Pharmacy's prescriptions was like night and day, I tell you. Once it was boiled and ready, it gave off this really ethereal mist. Seemed pretty adeptal to me. Could have also been because there was mistflower in it, though. Adepti medicine is surely the most potent. My father will recover soon, I just know it. Sure, you have to make some sacrifices if you seek help from an Adeptus like the Master of Stars. I had to give a few antiques as offerings. But my father's life is worth much more than a few old relics, right?
The Millilith don't really need to do shifts when the Master of Stars is around, do they? I'm a merchant, and I had an especially valuable batch of goods that needed transporting recently. So I asked the Master of Stars if he would make the journey with me, as presumptuous as that was. Reason being, monsters run a mile as soon as he so much as holds up his talisman. We didn't have the slightest bit of trouble the whole journey. It didn't come cheap, of course, but then soliciting the services of a god is a monumental affair. Just look at the Rite of Dissension. So I can accept it, but I doubt that most from outside of Liyue would be willing to.
Finally, a life full of hope and purpose. Oh, are you believers too? After my fiancé had been left, I cried every day. But then I turned to the Master of Stars for help. At his suggestion, I started burning paintings of my fiancé and casting the ashes into the ocean at sunrise. I can't explain it, but it really worked. I know in my heart that he'll return. This is not some sort of positive thinking trick. I'm certain of it. I'm so overjoyed that I gave a portion of my wedding budget to the Master of Stars as an offering. After all, if not for him, I wouldn't be getting my fiancé back, in which case I wouldn't need it anyway.
What do you think? One's adherents may exaggerate a little, but they speak from the heart. Surely you jest. There was once a senior adeptus, Xie Wuliang, known to the people as Liangzi. He said this: all things are connected. That which mortals call imagination is merely the bridge betwixt the spiritual and the material. In other words, their wishes are already on the path of transitioning into reality. Does this make things clearer?
Nope. It makes them way more complicated. But basically what you're saying is that their wishes can come true, right?
Indeed. You are perceptive, my diminutive friend.
Okay. So we also have one other question.
Oh? You need but ask. One wanders among mortals, doing good and cleansing evil. One reveals not one's visage to avoid further disturbance to this realm than is necessary.
Ah, got it.
Now then, what are your wishes? One senses that a tragic tale lies behind this wish. So be it. This wish is not beyond one's power to grant. But first, one must see some proof of your faith.
What's that supposed to mean?
The way of the Adepti cannot be grasped from words alone. One must seek the profound truths that lie beyond them. Should you fail to perceive one's hidden meaning, then regrettably, one may lend you no aid.
What do? Paimon doesn't understand him at all. Oh, that's right! Some of those believers mentioned that they had to pay a pretty sum for the Adeptus' help, didn't they? Well, Paimon's not forking over anymore, and we don't have anything valuable enough on us. You don't even have a vision. Hey, why don't we make him a tasty snack? No one can resist the temptation of good food, can they? Yep, a tasty snack is sure to work. Why don't we head over to Wanwen Bookhouse and see if they got any new recipes in?
So, you'd like a copy of Yaksha's The Guardian Adepti?
Yes. Here, and keep the change.
Oh, aren't you generous? Thank you for your patronage.
Hey, isn't that, Star's number? What a coincidence running into him again. Did you hear the name of the book he just bought? Was it Yaksha's The Guardian Adepti? Well, anyway, it was definitely a book about the Adepti. Why would an Adeptus want to buy a book about himself? Really? What's so fishy about him? Huh. That's a good point. None of the other Adepti we've met seemed like they needed anything from anyone. Paimon thinks we should check out that book. Maybe we'll find out something about this guy that we can use.
So, are you buying or not?
Hey there! We'd like a copy of Yaksha's The Guardian Adepti. Do you have one in stock?
Huh. Since when did that old chestnut become a bestseller? You're a rare breed of youngster if this is what you like to read, but you should be able to find a copy somewhere on that shelf over there. So, are you buying or not?
This is the one! Let's see what it's all about, shall we?
In ancient times, Liyue was a land of misery, where the shadow of evil loomed large. As slain gods festered, their vengeful wrath cursed the world, manifesting in infernal forms. When demons stirred, miasmas, monsters, and mutations infested the land. Then Rex Lapis summoned the Yakshas to vanquish the demons. They swore an oath Restore order through slaughter, purge evil through battle. To this, we dedicate our lives. Eons of bloodshed later, karmic debt weighed upon them, phantom wrath seeping into their broken souls. They went mad with fear, turned on each other, or succumbed to the darkness. Of the 5 foremost Yakshas, death came to 3, while the 4th vanished without a trace. In the millennia since, one conqueror of demons remains the sole surviving Yaksha in the mortal realm. And only on moonlit nights, in the glow from Guyun, and in the sound of the Dihua flute, is his memory preserved.
This book is about the Yakshas, a group of adepti who defend Liyue. Seems like a pretty niche topic. Was there anything that stood out to you? The book says that the wrathful spirits of the gods defeated during the Archon War can sometimes cause plagues, monsters, or mutations. All of which sound pretty horrendous. Hey, wait a second. Paimon wonders if... Do you think those super evil hilly churls we saw earlier were the mutations that the book's talking about? So, there used to be 5 main Yakshas, but supposedly only one of them is still alive today. Do you think that it could have anything to do with that Star Snatcher guy? No, surely not. He doesn't exactly give off the impression that he's been suffering for thousands of years. The book says that the Yakshas, after fighting against the wrath of the gods for thousands of years, became bound by karma. Poisoned by the hateful thoughts of the gods, the Yakshas would often descend into indescribable fits of terror, rage, or agony. It's so tragic. After everything they went through in all their years of protecting Liyue, they got no reward and had to deal with so much suffering instead. Yep, Paimon thinks we've already summed up all the key points. So back to the matter at hand. The things we need answers on are 1, where did those super evil looking hilly churls come from? And 2, what does Star Snatcher have to do with the Yakshas, right? Now to head back to where this all started and commence our investigation. Let's part the fog of mystery that hangs over Dwayne Karst and let the truth shine through in its full glory. To be honest, Paimon actually hopes he is a real Adeptus. His exorcism technique seemed real enough at least. But if we get our hopes up, there's further for them to come down. So it makes sense to investigate thoroughly first, just to be sure. Alright, let's head back to Wangshu Inn.
Flee at my command, foul demon! Flee! Why won't you flee?
Uh-oh, looks like Star Snatcher's in trouble. And there are innocent bystanders here too. We have to step in.
Oh, I don't get it. Why didn't the Sigil of Permission do anything? Has the evil aura of these hilly churls grown in intensity?
Sigil of Permission, huh? Now why does that sound familiar? Right! It's a keepsake of the Adepti, so it must still contain traces of their power! No wonder he was able to scare those monsters away earlier!
What are you two babbling on about? One is merely underslept, meaning that one's adeptal power is not in full flow. Were one but given another opportunity...
Well, as it happens, there goes another bunch of evil hilly churls over there! Should we leave them to you then?
One suddenly feels ill at ease. Surely one has overexpended one's adeptal powers. Otherwise, one would surely purge these infernal beings at once.
So you were just bragging after all! We were right to be suspicious! Come on, Traveler. Looks like it's up to us. Use your elemental sight and hunt them down! Let's see what a real Adeptus has to say about all this.
It's you. I remember you. I was purging some living beings that had been tainted by the demonic. It would appear that I have caused you some trouble.
Huh? He isn't usually this polite. What's going on? But you are exorcising demons! How is that causing trouble?
That is because the changes that occurred in these monsters stem from me. Or more precisely, from the karma I have accumulated.
Mutations? Karma? Does that mean... Yeah! Paimon remembers that Xiao is also called the Vigilant Yaksha, isn't he? So that means... Oh... Poor Xiao!
I see. You must mean that piece of literati fan fiction from a few hundred years ago. All things are impermanent, and to exist is to suffer. We Yakshas have no need of sympathy or tears. My comrades who have passed on would see your tears as a stain upon their legacy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It matters not. In any case, I am on my way to purge a cavern of demonic influence, so we shall part ways here.
Wait! Take us with you! We'll be a big help! Paimon promises!
No need. I am used to fighting alone. And in any case, these mutations originated from me to begin with.
Well then... Oh! Consider it Paimon's penance for being accidentally rude just now! Please?
Well, come on then.
So, Xiao, you've been suffering from the bad karma all this time?
Suffering is my price to pay for eons of endless slaughter. I have come to accept this. But in recent years, other living things have suffered, when the burden should be mine alone to bear. I must reflect on this.
Ooh, this place gives Paimon goosebumps.
I will use the ritual known as the Bane of All Evil to relieve this place of its karma. You must remain calm. Do not allow yourself to be affected by the lingering wrath of bygone gods. Evil conquering!
Bane of all evil. That must be the power you got for being a Vigilant Yaksha, right? Paimon's just realized that you only wear your mask when you're fighting the bad guys. But that Star Snatcher guy wears his mask the rest of the time too.
Star Snatcher? I am aware of no Adeptus by such a name.
So he is a fraud! Well, we'll continue this discussion later. You should focus on your battle for now.
It is good that we came here. An unusual number of living things had fallen under infernal influence. Had we not arrived in good time, the consequences would have been unthinkable. Now, this Star Snatcher you speak of, what is the situation?
Ooh, Paimon will tell you.
An Adeptus who grants wishes. To think that people could be so easily deceived by such blatant lies.
As an Adeptus, do you have the power to grant wishes, Xiao?
The Liyue of yesteryear would never ask the Adepti for boons unearned. Millennia ago, the ancestral people of Liyue asked for nothing more than the strength to defend the land they called their home.
To be honest, an Adepti who grants people's wishes is probably more appealing to people nowadays.
However feeble people nowadays may be, they are not my concern. I concern myself only with following Rex Lapis's original decree.
Oops, Paimon spoke without thinking again. Oh, one more thing. That fake Adeptus has a sigil of permission. It's what he uses to exorcise demons.
Wait, truly? Fool. Exorcising demons without exterminating them. It is no wonder they have been congregating here. If this continues, things may spiral out of even my control. We must confiscate his sigil of permission.
Great minds think alike! Paimon agrees. We've got to show that trickster what you get for trying to fool us. And it just so happens that we've got a real Adeptus with us too. If Xiao were to teach Star Snatcher a lesson, you can bet he'll never dare to pose as an Adeptus ever again.
No. I only slay demons. I do not kill mortals.
Who said anything about killing him?
It would certainly benefit Liyue if we could convince him to cease his wicked ways. I possess an art called Dream Trawler. It is normally used to separate the soul from the body. Then one might cultivate oneself in a waking dream. But it can also be used to call forth the spirits of others.
Whoa, now that's a real Adepti art for ya.
A ritual must be performed for this art to be used. Assist me in gathering a few items. A censer, 7 lamps, and something to reduce the temperature.
Reduce the temperature. Oh, some mist flowers will probably do, right? But as for the censer and the 7 lamps, probably not the kinds of things you're gonna just stumble across in the wild.
Do you know of the 2 Yaksha statues that stand guard beside a merchant road on the southern face of Mount Tianheng? The ancestors of the people of Liyue built shrines there to honor the Yakshas. You should still be able to find some ceremonial items there. Once you have found them, meet me at the Yaksha statues after nightfall, and I will teach you how to use this art.
Ooh, this temple will probably have the kinds of sensors and lanterns that Xiao wanted us to pick up.
The spirit soars the mountains high, while the body rests as the world goes by.
Sorry to interrupt you, but...
Well, I'll be. Isn't that something? A pair walk into a shrine, neither to seek nor worship gods or adepti, but to pilfer the tools of worship for their own ends.
We know it's rude to ask, but we just need them for a short while, honest!
For the Dream Trawler ritual, I trust.
What? How'd you know that?
I have been in the shrine for far longer than you would expect. Perhaps as a reward for my faithfulness, I have been endowed with some understanding of the Adepti arts.
Wow, Paimon's never heard of that happening before.
It matters not. Take what you need. It is a fortuitous thing that these items may be of service to you. They serve little purpose here, in any case. Nothing that you need concern yourself with. Please, take what you wish.
Paimon thinks we've got all the ones we can use now, but let's say bye to that guy before we leave, shall we? Huh? Where'd he go? He was right here!
I presumed that once you had acquired what you came for, you would forget about me and simply be on your way.
Ah, it's that guy's voice! Hello? Where are you?
My physical form ceased to exist over 1,000 years ago. What you witnessed earlier was an illusion, created by the Adepti art known as mortal lingering. Now that you have taken the 7-star lamps and censer used in the mortal lingering ritual, my form is no longer visible to you. I was once a junior in the Order of the Yakshas, bestowed with the name Pervases by Rex Lapis himself. Yet my strength failed, and I was slain in battle. Today is the anniversary of my death. My last wish was to see a modern Liyue, and so I took the liberty of performing this ritual here. That aside, you were sent here by the Conqueror of Demons, were you not?
So, you two know each other then?
I sense his aura upon you. That and the heavy burden of his karma. Even after all these millennia, he still must endure such tremendous suffering. I am truly ashamed.
Don't say that, Pervases. You sacrificed your life for Liyue, didn't you?
Life is a precious thing, yes. But when I think of the burden that the Conqueror of Demons must bear, death seems to me to have been the easy way out. A selfish indulgence, even.
Pervases.
I apologize. Birthdays are joyful occasions, but by the same token, it is hard not to be melancholy on the anniversary of one's death. The mortal lingering will not last much longer. Take care, you two, and please pass on my regards to the Conqueror of Demons. If only I could taste some authentic grilled tickerfish once more. By wave and storm I hunt for fish. By wind and snow I slay evil.
Huh? Looks like he's gone then. Paimon really hopes that at least someone will remember Pervases the Yaksha. We should get going, but let's come back here and make an offering sometime.
Have you gathered the items for the ritual? This censer and these lamps. Their designs are flawless, almost as if they were made specifically for use in the Adepti arts. Where did you come by them?
Oh, and, he says hi!
Pervases. Yes. This does have the hallmarks of something Pervases might do. As I thought, it seems that he could not leave Liyue behind, either. I hope that his present state will allow him to rest in peace. Well then, let us begin preparing for the ritual. Place the censer in the middle, and surround it with the 7-star lamps. Adorn the area with the items of abject cold. Once this is done, we shall proceed. Yes, this will do. Now, the next step is the key to performing Dream Trawler. There are 4 steps to performing this ritual: offering incense, meditation, incantation, and loosing an arrow.
Seems like a real rigmarole.
Adepti arts are the product of millennia of study by Adepti. Do not dismiss their mystical workings as rigmarole. Failure to take this seriously could cause the technique to devour one's own body, or cause the spirit to be sundered from one's flesh permanently.
Stop talking! I'm sorry!
When offering the incense, we place the incense into the censer with reverence for Rex Lapis in our hearts. Meditation is to empty ourselves of trivial thoughts, and to focus on the target of the art we are performing. Then we shall recite the incantation in a loud voice. Devayaksha, bring forth sin! Finally, we will loose an arrow towards each of the Yaksha statues to enlist their authority for our contract. If all goes well, Star Snatcher's soul will be brought forth shortly. If you have no other questions, let us begin.
Then we meditate. Paimon really doesn't want to think about that fraud. Bring forth sin! It looks like the Yaksha statues are glowing at the waist, so we just fire 1 arrow each at the glowing parts, right?
Close enough. Leave the rest to me. You two get ready to greet him.
Where is one? Huh? You two look familiar. What's with one's body? One feels light, weightless. An Adepti art? You dare don the guise of an Adeptus in one's presence. But as for the matter of one's present location, one could have sworn that one was dozing off to sleep at Wangshu Inn not a moment ago. Wait, that must be it. Of course it must. As expected of an Adeptus such as oneself. One must indeed be in a dream.
There's no helping this guy, is there?
Huh? What is the meaning of this? Do you truly think that one will permit such insolence in one's own dreams?
Alright, time to take him down a peg. I summoned the...
Such impertinent... Hey, stop it! Stop it! Please stop! I surrender! I surrender! No! No, never again! You almost killed me. Oh, how did I ever have the misfortune to meet you two? Please, Great Adepti, spare my life. I won't do this ever again, I swear it.
We did call your spirit here, but we're not Adepti. He, however, is.
You deceive the masses with quackery, masquerade as an Adeptus, exorcise demons without exterminating them, and display a callous lack of regard for life. One day, you will reap that which you have sown. For those who invite the infernal into their lives, there is no redemption.
You're...
Seems like Xiao's got him scared stiff.
Oh, great Adeptus. Might I ask your name? It really is you. It's truly you. Never in my life did I imagine that I might meet the conqueror of demons, the vigilant Yaksha himself.
You know about Xiao?
Of course. My grandfather was a folklorist. I learned the tales of the conqueror of demons at his knee. To this day, I'm an avid collector of books concerning the Yakshas. But ever since I discovered a sigil of permission while rummaging through my grandfather's personal effects, at first, I was just imitating the Adepti for fun. But slowly, I began to stray further and further from the righteous path.
Huh. So to sum you up, you're Xiao's biggest fan?
Yes. Thank you both for allowing me to witness the conqueror of demons in the flesh. It's like a dream come true.
That wasn't quite our intention.
Oh, great conqueror of demons, please allow me to swear this oath before you. I swear to turn away from evil, to live an honest life, and to never again stain the name of the Adepti.
I will remember your oath. Now go.
Thank you. 1,000 thanks for your forgiveness, and for all that you have done for Liyue.
He seemed very earnest when he was making that oath there. Guess he won't be tricking anyone anymore. Oh, wait. We haven't gotten the sigil of permission back yet. Let's head over to Wangshu Inn first thing tomorrow and look for him. Hey there, boss. Star Snatcher's staying here, right?
Star Snatcher. You mean the false Adeptus who wore a mask? He signed in here under the name Wang Ping An. He's already checked out. He said he wished to go on a solo pilgrimage. Ah, yes. He also requested that I give this letter to a traveler who journeys together with a talking fairy, should they come asking for him.
Talking fairy? Who's that?
Well, anyway, you must be the traveler. Here's the letter.
How strange that he would leave a letter for us. Is this the final attempt to fool us, maybe? Come on, open it! Paimon's curious! Huh? Seems like he actually left us a few nice trinkets. Along with... Woohoo! The sigil of permission! Paimon hasn't met a bad guy like him in a long time. Yeah. Anyway, let's go take the sigil of permission to Xiao, shall we? Ah, there you are! We got the sigil of permission back. Do you want
You have my thanks.
May I take your order, sir?
1 grilled tickerfish.
Certainly. We'll prepare it for you immediately.
Huh. No almond tofu this time? Well, that's not like you.
Tickerfish was Pervasi's favorite dish. I just wanted to see how it tastes.
Huh.
By wave and storm I hunt for fish. By wind and snow I slay evil. Was there anything else? I am accustomed to eating alone.
And so, Detective Paimon and the trusty traveler solved the case and quietly slipped away.
Lantern Rite is nearly here. Why don't we decorate the inn this year? Oh, don't you know? On the first full moon of the first month each year, Liyue celebrates the Lantern Rite. It's a festival to commemorate the heroes from the past. After dark, the people release Xiao and Mingxiao Lanterns into the night sky. Oh, may the flames of wisdom spread to all and never be extinguished. This is the meaning of the lanterns. We believe they act as the beacons in the night, guiding bygone heroes back to their homeland.
Wow, it sounds like a grand festival. And where there's a grand festival, there's always special seasonal snacks. You catch Paimon's drift?
You want to get involved in the Lantern Rite? That's great! The festive period leading up to the day itself is all part of the celebrations. During this time, we pray to bring peace and ward off bad luck. Liyue locals call it bidding farewell to the old and welcoming the new. If you're looking to take part, it's not too late. Oh, also, if you're able to, could you try to convince Xiao to go with you? We're not close. I wouldn't know how to ask him myself. But it seems that you've grown familiar.
Yeah, Paimon thinks it might be best to leave him alone for a few days.
I suppose you're right. Anyway, just thought I'd mention it. You should get yourselves down to the harbor. If you leave too late, the city will be crowded with people and you won't be able to make the most of it. Get going. Happy Lantern Rite.
If I may be so bold, how much for the floating thing, hmm?
Paimon's not for sale!
As a matter of fact, I'm having some financial trouble recently. I probably couldn't afford it. I'm just a small-time merchant anyway. I don't deal in rare and exotic treasures.
You know, the more you talk, the more suspicious you sound.
My, someone's in a grumpy mood, aren't they? Here, maybe some candy will make you feel better.
Ooh, suspiciously trustworthy!
So, I assume you two are in Liyue for the Lantern Rite? This year's Mingxiao Lantern is supposed to be a sight well worth the wait. The plastrite that will lift the lantern into the air is the largest in 20 years. It's big enough to make you wonder if the fabled floating city in the clouds really does exist. I guess it must just be held up by a similarly sized chunk of plastrite.
Sounds awesome!
I hope our paths cross again. Welcome to Liyue. Well, I can't speak for the whole of Liyue Harbor, but you're always welcome in my store, at least.
I'm Ching Ching. I just donated Dolly. She's my rag doll. Last night in my dream, Dolly told me her wish was to fly up into the sky and see the view. So I gave her to the lady over by the big deer lantern. Dolly's wish will come true now. Won't it? I did the right thing, didn't I? Wishes are supposed to come true at the Lantern Rite, aren't they?
This year's Mingxiao Lantern is dedicated to Skybracer. He always was a show-off. I'm sure he will be very pleased. Well, that's the plan. I do hope they make the antlers big enough. They were his pride and joy, after all. The story goes that the antlers were made from the very essence of Rex Lapis's divine power, which made it the hardest material in all of Liyue. But then that fateful battle happened. The gods exchanged powerful blows, and the mountain started collapsing. To avoid impacting the villagers at the foot of the mountain, the Adeptus got his friend to chop his antlers off. He used those blood-drenched antlers as a wedge to prop up the mountain. And if that wasn't enough of a sacrifice, he then kept on fighting until his blood was drained and his life ran out. Thanks to him, Mount Tianheng still stands tall and proud to this day, and the blood that he lost in the battle turned into the Bishui River. Whether you believe the story or not, I'm just happy you're willing to listen to me tell it. Surely the reason the Lantern Rite exists is because people throughout the ages have chosen to come together as friends, rather than stay in isolation. Goodbye. May the flames of wisdom spread to all, and never be extinguished.
Look! That stone is floating! Luckily it's tethered in place. If it wasn't held down, who knows where it would fly off to?
This is the plastrite to be used for the Mingxiao Lantern. The whole of the Xiao market is centered around it.
Oh, hello! Who are you?
I'm Zhang. Recently, I've been tracking progress on the construction of the Mingxiao Lantern. You seem like newcomers. Is this your first Lantern Rite?
Yes, how can you tell?
Well, I don't remember running into any weird and wonderful mascots at last year's festival. You'll see lots of people releasing little lanterns during the festival. Those ones are called Xiao Lanterns. But there's also a huge one, a joint effort by all the people of Liyue Harbor. That one is called the Mingxiao Lantern. Almost every business in Liyue has a booth at the annual Xiao market, but despite its popularity, this is the one time of the year they're not looking to make a profit. The street market exists solely to raise the funds and materials required for the Mingxiao Lantern construction.
So, the Xiao market. Does it have stuff you can eat?
Plenty. And if I do say so myself, the Lantern Rite is the best festival for sampling Liyue's local delicacies. It is Liyue's biggest annual festival, after all. Showing off your craft is a great way to drum up a reputation. So even if there's no mora to be made, everyone is secretly going all out to get their produce under the spotlight.
Folks in Liyue are so smart.
If you need any help, you can look for Wangya. She's overseeing the Lantern Rite. She's usually somewhere around the Xiao market. She's your first port of call.
Ooh, will she know which stall sells the tastiest stuff?
No doubt. When it comes to the Lantern Rite, no one knows more than she does.
Got it! Let's go to the Xiao market and look for Wangya. And then go to the stall with the tastiest food and eat till we're stuffed.
Hi, can I help you? From the look of you don't hail from Liyue. Are you traveling through? Welcome to the Xiao market. Overseeing? Not exactly. The Lantern Rite Festival belongs to the whole of Liyue. It's not just one person's to oversee. I'm just taking care of a few small things, doing my bit to make sure everyone who joins in the festivities has a good time.
We want to know where the tastiest food in the whole wide Xiao market is.
The tastiest? Hard to say. I guess that depends on your personal preference. Still, what I can tell you is that everyone's talking about Yinyan's stall. If it gets any busier over there, I'm gonna have to bring the Millilith to keep things orderly. Hey, you'd best get over there quick before the streets get too crowded with people. Oh, and if you are heading to Yinyan, please do me a favor and run this document over to him. It's a summary of the data from last year's Lantern Rite, compiled by the Ministry of Civil Affairs. It has a few operational tips for our vendors. If you're heading in that direction, it'd be a great help. As thanks, I've got a gift for you when you get back.
Really don't have enough hands on deck. If I'd known, I would have roped some others in.
What's the best thing on the menu?
Ah, customers. Take a look and decide for yourself. I can do anything on the menu. Or if there's something in particular you're after, I can do that instead.
Paimon will have... Huh. Now that you mention it, you do have a lot of options for a food stall.
Naturally. If there's a dish I can't cook, I've yet to hear about it. Same every year. The old operational tips. How's this for a tip? Leave the handbook to one side and concentrate on the killer cooking. Hand it over. I'll use it to feed the fire later. Come on then, place your orders. Aren't you here to eat?
There are so many. This one looks good, but Paimon wants to try that one too. Huh? Grilled tigerfish. That's the one Pervasives love to eat, isn't it? Seeing as the Lantern Rite is about commemorating the heroes of the past, let's order this one. This can be our way of honoring his memory.
Ah, your friend has a good eye for food. That's our specialty. Please wait. I'll have it ready for you in no time. Okay, here's your grilled tigerfish. What do you think?
Delicious. Of course. What kind of a guide would Paimon be otherwise?
Well, hope you enjoy your food. I gotta see to some other customers. If you get hungry again, you know where I am.
So you're back. What do you think? Yinyan makes some mean grub, huh?
So tasty.
Oh yeah? He said that last year, too. If he'd listened to our marketing tips, he'd be doing even better by now. Anyway, not to worry. Here's the gift I was talking about. This Xiao Lantern is for you.
Wow, such a beautiful lantern. How is it made?
I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to explain the process concisely. But if you're interested in Xiao Lanterns, you can ask Jingming over there. He's in charge of both the Xiao and Mingxiao Lanterns.
So he's responsible for this super duper huge one too?
That's right. He should be easy to find. Just over there, I think.
If we could make a Xiao Lantern for Xiao, maybe that would cheer him up a bit. Let's find Jingming and see what he has to say.
At this rate, we should be able to meet the deadline. Teach you how to make Xiao Lanterns. Oh, You don't look like locals to me. Looking to try your hand at making your own? I'll be happy to teach you. There's no one way to make a Xiao Lantern, but let me start by showing you the simplest one. I should have some spare materials over here. Just a second. They still need a bit of work. Take these and give it a go.
That was so complicated. Paimon is all out of brain juice. Did you get it?
It all comes with practice. No one's expecting your first try to be perfect. Folks like you who want to learn my craft are a rare find nowadays.
Did you build that humongous Mingxiao Lantern using the same method?
That one? I suppose it's fair to say the method is the same, broadly speaking. But no single person can take credit for it. The whole of Liyue comes together to make it.
So it was a community effort?
Surely you've heard about it. The Xiao Market is actually a fundraiser, aiming to support the Mingxiao Lantern's construction.
Whoa, so that's how the Mingxiao Lantern is built.
Such is the Lantern Rite tradition. The Ministry of Civil Affairs might be covering the bulk of the costs, but it's the citizens of Liyue that donate the materials, among many other things.
Oh, so that's what that little girl meant when she said she donated her ragdoll. But since when do you build Mingxiao Lanterns out of ragdolls?
Well, the Lantern Rite is a major festival. If somebody wants to make a contribution, no matter how small, or in this case symbolic, we tend not to reject them. All well-meaning contributions are gratefully received. Especially considering how grand of an occasion the Lantern Rite is for everyone. People believe that joining the effort might bring them good luck. Alrighty then. Shouldn't you get going? With all that the festival has to offer, I'm sure you must be on a busy schedule. Of course, if you want to make another Xiao Lantern at any time, you know where to find me. Happy Lantern Rite. Have fun.
So, did you find Jingmei?
We did, and he taught us all about how to make Xiao Lanterns. Even though Paimon can't really remember any of it.
No worries. You can always ask Jingming if you need to refresh your memory. I should go. Duty calls. Happy Lantern Rite.
Hello again, Lanya. How's the Mingxiao Lantern construction coming along?
Good to see you two. The Mingxiao Lantern is coming along smoothly, thank you. We're almost done collecting the required plastrite. The project should be completed in a few days. You'll have to come by when it's done. Plastrite is the main component of any Mingxiao Lantern. Most of the donations we get from the city folk are either Mora or plastrite. A lot of them carve their heart's desires onto the plastrite they donate, as a prayer for good fortune and other blessings.
Paimon wants some good fortune too. Let's find some plastrite and make a wish.
Since you seem so eager to donate, how about you keep your eyes open for less common varieties of plastrite? Those are the ones we lack the most at the moment. One is called azurite. It is occasionally found in the northern part of Mount Tianheng. When azurite gets caught in the roots of ordinary vegetation, it sometimes produces bloaty floaties, which have floating seeds. The other one is called vermilionite, which is extremely dangerous as far as most people are concerned. In Guili Plains, old ruin hunters who have lost the power of flight use vermilionite to keep themselves airborne. Well, they're just more stylish, I suppose. Actually, they're just blue and red varieties of plastrite. Gemstone merchants only gave them fancy names to try and impress their customers. The difference in their features compared to regular plastrite might be minuscule, but the difference in price is astonishing. No, never mind that. Just bring some azurite and vermilionite back to me. I'm counting on you.
Lanya, we're back with a fresh supply of azurite and vermilionite.
I knew I could count on you. Let me see. Yep, without a doubt, these are azurite and vermilionite. But don't you want to make your wishes? You brought back just enough materials for both of you. Come on, get carving.
Done. Paimon prays for a bottomless stomach to eat more delicacies with. And you? Let Paimon see. doesn't sound like something you'd wish for. So you made a wish for her instead. Don't you worry, Paimon will help you find her, and we'll spend the next Lantern Rite together. Then we'll release a gazillion Xiao Lanterns to make up for all those wishes you've never had a chance to make.
If you're done with your carvings, you can hand over your Azurite and Vermilionite to me.
Miss Wang, yeah?
Well, hello, Chang Chang. What's up, little missy? Can't find your granddad?
Granddad said he's busy and I should go play on my own. I want to make a Xiao Lantern, but I don't know how. Miss Wangya, could you help me make a Xiao Lantern?
Sure thing, but promise me that you'll go back home as soon as we're done playing. With so many people at the festival, your granddad will be worried sick if you stay out too long.
Thank you, Miss Wangya. I'll be a good girl, I promise.
I certainly do. That's how I made my first Mora, helping visitors make Xiao Lanterns by the docks. Ah, good times. I should really stay here to keep an eye on the girl. Hey, could I bother you to go to the construction site at the dock and gather some building materials? Great, thanks. I appreciate it.
Look over there! That guy's acting very suspicious. Don't you think?
Hey, what you doing? What you staring at me like that for? Get go- Huh? Alright. If you all won't get going, I'm just gonna get going myself, I guess.
Wow! Paimon thought he might be a shady character? Then he opened his mouth and now Paimon's sure of it! He must have been up to something when he was crouching down on the ground, because as soon as he saw us approaching, he stood up and acted all innocent. Paimon has a bad feeling about this. What could he be up to? Let's investigate. Well, this area is full of construction supplies for the Mingxiao Lantern. Paper, oil, wood. Oh! All highly flammable materials! On the last day of the Lantern Rite, huge crowds come out to watch the Mingxiao Lantern being released. It can't be a good sign if there's a suspicious character lurking around somewhere so dangerous. If he's been tampering with the stockpile of lantern supplies, let's get the materials we came for first. We can tell Wanya about the situation when we get back. Because everyone in Liyue has worked really hard for this. No one should be allowed to spoil it, period. Oh, fine. There's so many delicacies in Liyue Harbor. Matsutake meat rolls, Mora meat, almond tofu.
Did you get the materials? Ah, yes, these will do. Let me make a Xiao Lantern for Ching Ching.
We saw a shady character skulking around the highly flammable materials at the construction site. He looked like he was up to no good.
I see. Okay, please inform the Ministry of Civil Affairs about what you saw. I'll talk to Jingming. With so many people visiting for the Lantern Rite, we can't afford to ignore something like this.
Miss Wangya, is something bad gonna happen at the Lantern Rite?
Not to a darling little angel like you, Chang Chang. Come on now, good girl. Head back to your granddad and don't get distracted along the way. We don't want to make him worry.
Halt! This is the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs.
Yeah, we saw a shady-looking guy snooping around near the stockpile of highly flammable Mingxiao Lantern supplies. We must defend the grilled tigerfish food stall at all costs.
Goodness. This is a serious matter indeed.
Exactly what Paimon thought. Liyue Harbor's cuisine is the heart and soul of the city.
It seems we disagree on where the seriousness of the matter lies, but you're not wrong, my little friend. Rest easy. The Ministry of Civil Affairs has assigned a specialist to keep the Lantern Rite safe. I will inform him of this matter and order him to step up vigilance in due course.
In due course? This is serious. Why not get your butt over there and tell him straight away?
I wish I could, but he's yet to return. He's taken a small team to Guili Plains. Huh? But you're a traveler, aren't you? You've come all this way for the Lantern Rite, and yet you are willing to lend a hand?
Our pleasure! We're experts in this kind of stuff. We lend hands all the time. Oh, like the time we...
Really? Then we are indebted to you. Travelers are so kind these days. Ah yes, no commission should go unpaid. I will take care of the compensation. Again, thank you both.
If it weren't for your help, today may have ended quite differently. I'm in charge of keeping the Lantern Rite safe. A lot comes out of the woodwork at this time of year. There are thieves around every corner. I encountered one during my patrol just now, so I called a few men and we pursued them out here. Once we got here, we decided to split up. I was searching this area. The thief seems to have made a clean getaway, and I sure didn't bank on these monsters being here. I was just assessing whether it'd be better to send for reinforcements or find another way to disperse them. And that's when you showed up and dealt with them. And thank goodness. I don't know how long it would have taken for the others to get here. Well, I need to get back to looking for that thief. But thanks for your help. Until next time.
Wait a second, we're not done here!
Oh, is there something else? Another one? It's interminable. Right. When I get back, I'll get the other troops to be extra vigilant in the area. In the middle of the festival, too. What are they up to?
Do you get the feeling... Paimon thinks so too. With our wealth of experience adventuring far and wide, we should be able to get to the bottom of this. So let's go back to the place where we witnessed the shady-looking guy. Paimon hears from patrol officers that criminals love to go back for another look at the crime scene after the event. It's a psychological thing, apparently. That's why there's no time to lose. When there's highly flammable materials involved, once the crime happens, it'll be too late. Aha! Knew it! Wait! There's another person!
What are you doing here?
Huh? Xiao? Are you here for the festival?
I have no interest in Lantern Rite. I sensed a malign influence here. I'm here to investigate. When a shackle is loosened in the realms of deities and demons, I take full responsibility. But this time, the threat comes from the mortal world. Your world. Thus you shall take full responsibility, mortal traveler. When the time comes, I hope you shall act promptly and decisively. I do not wish for the tassel of the polearm that has slaughtered countless demons to become stained with mortal blood.
What's this?
A symbol that your suspected evildoer left behind.
Doesn't look familiar to Paimon.
Well, you will have to show me how much you can accomplish on your own strength. Because if I become involved, there is a possibility that the streets of Liyue Harbor will be painted red this Lantern Rite.
Well, that sounds terrible. Let's not be impulsive. Why don't we figure out the origins of the symbol first? The one the suspected criminal left behind. Oh, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that Kaya will know something about it.
Well, long time no see.
Kaya, we went to the Lantern Rite in Liyue.
Ah, well, how was it? Fun?
Delicious.
Well then, you ought to be looking forward to Mondstadt's Ludi Harpastum. I'm sure it will be to your liking.
Right. Kaya, there's something we need to tell you about.
Lantern supplies. Stockpile of wood, paper, and oil. At the very least, it sounds like an accident waiting to happen. How very amusing. What makes you think I would recognize this symbol?
Exactly.
You should watch what you say, honorary knight. What do you mean, flirt with the dark side? The Knights of Favonius certainly does not have dealings with its enemies. That has to do with a certain knightly virtue called integrity. Anyway, I digress. This is the symbol of the cross-border criminal organization you know as the Treasure Hoarders. If you are curious to know more, I can put you in touch with an informant on the inside.
Didn't you just say the Knights of Favonius don't have dealings with their enemies?
This is my own personal informant. Nothing to do with the Knights of Favonius. A little later, make your way over to Windrise. I'll arrange for the informant to meet you there.
Thanks, Kaya!
Oh, and remember, wine begets wisdom.
Huh?
Huh?
Hey, you're the guy, right? Kaya's informant?
Informant? Not me.
But this is the place we agreed upon, and you're the only other one here, so...
Place we agreed upon? I know nothing.
Stop being so annoying.
Okay, yeah, it's me.
How was any of that even slightly necessary?
What do you want to know about?
Here's the situation.
Okay, I see.
So, what can you tell us as an insider?
I do not think this is the work of the treasure hoarders. The reason the treasure hoarders are able to sustain a giant cross-border operation is because they abide by one fundamental principle. Caution. Softly, softly, catching monkey is the name of the game for them. By contrast, the idea of taking huge risks to try and make a fortune is utter folly in their eyes. Liyue has the Adepti looking after it, doesn't it? And they're especially active during the Lantern Rite. There's just no way that they, slip of the tongue, when you've been undercover as long as I have. Where was I just oh, yes. There's no way that they, the treasure hoarders, would dare make a move during the Lantern Rite. Also, the treasure hoarders organization in Liyue recently received an anonymous letter.
Why would someone send them an anonymous letter? Trying to frame them, perhaps?
Nobody knows. But what I can tell you is which branch of the treasure hoarders has the letter in their possession. There. I've marked their location on the map for you.
Great! Well, Paimon thinks this was productive. This is our only solid lead. Let's not waste it.
If there's nothing more, I should get back to treasure hoarding. Get back to those treasure hoarding lowlifes. To, spy on them.
Sorry, pal, wrong way. Wherever you think you're going, it's that way.
But isn't that the way to Liyue Harbor?
Right. Here is nowhere. So the other way is Liyue Harbor.
If you're looking for somewhere to stay, I suggest you go to the Wangshu Inn. Fair prices, great customer service, and a wonderful view.
How do you know about the letter?
One of Liyue's Adepti told us about it.
Did they now? I somehow doubt that.
You should not doubt it. It was I who sent them to investigate. Any further questioning, you may direct to me.
Did you just appear out of thin air?
You're the vigilant Yaksha!
Hey, watch your tone of voice. Or do you seriously want to pick a fight with an Adeptus?
Okay, it's not that we don't believe you're an Adeptus. It's just... everyone needs to look at the bigger picture here.
As you well know, we treasure hoarders are no serious threat to anyone. We're petty criminals, that's all.
So, if you are truly an Adeptus, please show us some mercy, would you?
Of course, if it turns out you're not a real Adeptus.
Then please, don't blame our weapons for treating everyone equally.
Please, my heroic friend and Adeptus buddy, have mercy.
The letter is drivel anyway. It's not worth an armed conflict. Just take it.
How about that? Paimon knew it all along. Let's see what they wrote.
I see. Then let us send these two to the meeting. The sender may be plotting something truly diabolical for the Lantern Rite. It seems they want to burn down the entire city.
Great, everyone's happy. You're good, we're good. However...
These two, they don't look anything like us.
It'll be fine. When we're in disguise, no one will be the wiser.
It still seems like a long shot to me, but with the help of an Adeptus, hopefully everything will turn out fine.
Well, the safety of Liyue is in your hands now. Good luck. Even the treasure hoarders don't want to see the city burned to the ground. Then it is settled. What is it? Huh? I am not partial to crowded areas, especially at this time of the year. When this matter is resolved, come to Wangshu Inn. In previous years, the Mingxiao Lantern has been visible even from there.
He's vanished! Did he go back to Wangshu Inn already? But the time mentioned in the letter, that's today, isn't it? Come on, let's go to the meeting place.
All right, you folks from the treasure hoarders, yeah? I thought I insinuated in my letter there that you should have done like I done and put on a mask and a costume and so forth. But it seems you didn't all get the memo. It's pretty cool though. Gutsy.
Well, guess what? We don't need to go sneaking around everywhere wearing disguises because unlike you, we would never do anything so shameful that we would need to wear masks while doing it.
Well, wait a second now. You folks ain't no treasure hoarders. What game are you two playing?
Terra Smash!
Tell us your diabolical plan now!
Okay, I give up.
Give up now, or feel the wrath of my Paimonial... Huh? You're giving up just like that?
I'm just a lowly apprentice thief who really looks up to the treasure hoarders.
An apprentice thief?
Yeah, for a greenhorn like me, especially working on my own and all, the treasure hoarders, oh, man, they're my heroes.
Wait a second.
So I thought I'd try and set up some sort of lucrative opportunity, then submit my pledge of loyalty.
Wait a second. None of this is making any sense. Paimon was expecting the serial arsonist to be someone more sinister, evil-looking. But instead, we get you.
Arson? What the heck are you talking about?
Don't pretend. Paimon's seen you loitering around piles of highly flammable materials.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I was only checking the place out. My plan ain't got nothing to do with those lantern construction materials.
Are you serious?
Well, I just wanted to nab me the biggest chunk of plastrite in 20 years is all. I was gonna wait till nightfall, chop off half the tethers, float it out to sea.
Oh.
Then, all I'd have to do is find some way or another of bringing it down, so I could hide it underwater in the shallows. The perfect crime.
For a perfect crime, it sure has a lot of holes. For example, how exactly were you planning to bring down the plastrite once it was airborne?
Well, I was still in the process of figuring out the details, hence why I hadn't made my move yet.
This guy is an imbecile. Okay, let's teach him a lesson. Now that the Millelith have gotten hold of that idiot, let's head back. We can notify the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
Traveler, word spreads fast. We will keep watch over the thief. Thanks for your help. Looks like the Mingxiao Lantern will be ready soon. A critical juncture. We cannot afford the slightest interference. Rest easy. Word was passed up the chain. Another group of very capable troops have been brought in. They're dressed as ordinary citizens. You wouldn't notice them in the crowd. If anyone dares make a move, they'll be on them in an instant. That's sorted then. You two get some rest, we'll take it from here. Enjoy the Lantern Rite in peace.
So, Paimon supposes that's taken care of then. Paimon wishes so too. Guess he won't make it this time. Wait, do you remember what the inspiration for the Mingxiao Lantern was? So if it's modeled on an Adeptus, maybe Xiao would be interested this time. On the day the Mingxiao Lantern is ready, we can meet him at Wangshu Inn like he suggested, then try to persuade him. Even though he said you can see the Mingxiao Lantern from Wangshu Inn, we should get up close if we want to get that festival atmosphere.
So is the matter resolved? Good. No. As I said, I am not partial to crowded areas, especially at this time of the year.
Yeah, it's a super impressive looking giant deer. Let's go take a look together.
Skybracer. A Mingxiao Lantern nonetheless. A fleeting creation of human hand. It means nothing to me. If this short-lived spectacle is one you wish to witness, I suggest you go to the city.
Well, he really won't go. Unless, let's go find the boss. She might have a few tricks up her sleeve.
Sounds like you and Xiao took care of business again.
Word certainly got around. The news even reached us here.
And yet another year's Lantern Rite will soon be over, and he still won't go and take a look.
All these long years, and I've never seen him attend the Lantern Rite. I'd go as far as to say it'd be easier bringing the festival to him than the other way around.
Bring the festival to him. Yeah, if Xiao won't go to the Lantern Rite, then let's bring the Lantern Rite to him.
Sorry, surely you realize I was joking. How would you bring the Lantern Rite to him, exactly?
When we were in the city checking out the festivities, we learned how to make Xiao Lanterns. We even found a food stall serving local delicacies. So much tasty food! So many pretty Xiao Lanterns! Not to mention, what else? Oh, the bygone heroes, his old friends! Aren't those the heart and soul of the Lantern Rite?
You're not wrong, but where would we settle that up?
Now that you mention it, I wonder. We need enough space to set up our own stall. There might just be enough room below the inn. Hey, let's take a look and choose a space. I believe I know the kind of stall you're after. There should be a few styles we can reference. Let me think. This is too close to the elevator entrance. I think we can do better. Now, here we'd be constantly interrupted by the foot traffic. Here's not too bad, and it's safely away from all the foot traffic. Fitting choice. We've got ourselves a nice spot. Now we need to build a proper stall. I've thought about it, and I believe I know roughly how to go about it. If you'll excuse me for a moment, I'll try to figure out where to start. And voila! A little rough around the edges, but it should serve us well. What do you think? There's no big deal. Well, we can check the stall off our to-do list. It looks quite festive decorated with that Xiao Lantern, wouldn't you say? Well, yes, but in my generation, it's just the norm for everyone who grew up in Liyue. Anyway, speaking of festivities, no celebration is complete without a feast. Do you know what you would like on the menu?
Almond tofu, that's for sure. We've made it for Xiao before.
Almond tofu and grilled tigerfish. What an interesting combination of flavors. I'll have a word with Smiley Yan Xiao. He should be able to rustle those up in no time. Luckily, the inn's pantry contains all the necessary ingredients. Oh, it's about time to summon our honored guest. Could you fetch him? The food should be ready by the time you come down.
What now? We've had the talk about crowded places. Do not make me repeat myself. Best you go alone. What is that supposed to mean? You brought the festival to me?
Okay, so there's a bunch of delicious snacks just laid out below the inn, and a bunch of Xiao Lanterns, and there's practically no one else around to have to worry about. Better hurry up, or the food's gonna go cold. Come on down! Ta-da! Your very own miniature Lantern Rite Festival! Well, if it doesn't look mouth-watering.
So this is what you meant by bringing the festival to me? Is there no end to the peculiarities of human behavior? Does it serve any grander purpose? Is that so? Human motives defy my attempts to fathom them.
Less fathoming, more eating! Come on, dig in before it gets cold! Okay, Paimon's gonna concentrate on eating now. Now that we're done with the most important part of the celebration, we should be heading out to see the Mingxiao Lantern.
You may take your leave. There's nothing for me over there.
Yeah, the Mingxiao Lantern may not be your thing, but surely there's no harm in taking a walk with us. The road from here to Liyue Harbor is long and full of dangers. We need someone to ensure our safety. Nobody says you have to enter the city. You can just see us off at the outskirts.
So be it. I shall accept your proposal.
There you go. All right, time to hit the road.
This is as far as I will go. Please see yourselves into the city.
You are obviously one of the heroes this festival is all about. Why don't you want to get involved?
I detest the rabble. No cares in the world. So peaceful, so joyful. They are nothing like me. Too long have I spent slaughtering, accompanied by the burden of suffering that follows in its wake. Crossing paths with all those jubilant people will only make me... That's all I have to say. Farewell. Are you really so enamored with such trivial amusements?
Hey, this is a legitimate festival, not some trivial amusement.
Legitimate. Enough. Go watch your lanterns. but stay vigilant. Keep your eyes open for any menace. If you find yourself in trouble, speak my name. Anywhere, anytime. Whether yours or Liyue's, I hear all cries for help, all prayers for peace, and all the wishes carried by the lanterns.